Alright, what's up everyone? CR2 here. Hope you're doing well wherever and whenever you're watching from. And today we are going to be doing the Qualify Practice Guide for 1987s at Martinsville. Specifically week 11 of 2026 Season 1. We're almost done. Just a couple tracks left, Martinsville, then Las Vegas to close out the season. And really quickly, some thoughts here on Martinsville. Fun track when you got the rhythm set in. It's all purely a rhythm track to me. You can't really brute force some speed here. You can only for a few laps, but then once you really start making one of the right side tires angry, you're just gonna start falling back. So absolutely find your rhythm, do your best to stay at it. 80 degrees on the track temperature, 45% like usual on the track usage. Um, Weather's supposed to be mostly cloudy. That really hasn't rolled in yet. So just know for your warm-up session, qualifying session, this could easily be a few degrees warmer, could be a few degrees cooler, so keep an eye on this, of course. Best I've managed so far is 20.7. I'm sure somebody in the same conditions could probably pull out a 20.6, a low 20.6. Qualifying is just not my strong suit here. 12 to 1, shortest one, of course. Plus 10 on the. Actually, let's do plus 12. And 46.8% for your qualifying brake bias. Just to make sure you don't go too low because you are braking pretty late and pretty heavy for your qualifying run. So you go too low on that brake bias, you're going to lock up the rear tires, spin out, kill your lap. 80 degrees, all right. The run up doesn't really matter much. You're usually going to chip out by just past the starting line anyway. See just how hard we're trying to go. Overshot that way too much. And you see that qualifying is just not my specialty here. And 795. I can't really get any better than that. I just don't have it for qualifying here. So, as I said, the run-up doesn't really matter. If anything, just set yourself up on the outer part of the concrete. There's not much grip up here. Heck, there might even be marble buildup, so don't even bother with that. Get yourself a straight run-up. And you're likely going to be chipping out just past the start line. And you're going to start braking. You could probably push it a little bit later. I can't. Went for a diamond there. Get really strong on the power. Just be careful of it kicking loose over this little transition. Definitely be careful of that. And this one I really sent it in on the braking. We only made up time just because we had the straighter exit from the diamond line. And yeah, really to sum that up, just brake as late as possible without sliding the rears, badly overshooting the center. This is one you definitely got to practice a few times to really get a feel for. Martinsville, I think qualifying is pretty important. It is only a 100 lap race. Um, the laps tick off quick. It's similar lap times to North Wilkesboro. And we'll go over pit strategies as we kind of go through the practice part of the guide. Let's check this out live. 81, barely warmed up. We're going to put the brake bias up a few clicks. Default is 50. There's really no magical brake bias. Of course, do your best to not touch that curb. A really good marker to start your braking is when you chip out. As soon as you hit the chip on the motor. You can see, just let it roll to center, get close to that curb. Straight but strong exit off. Of course, don't touch the curb, it upsets the car quite a bit. There are a couple ways you can take these corners. You can just stick to the curb all the way around, pretty much just wrap it. Kind of like this. Overshot that a tiny bit. You can go for a late apex, which really allows you to get on the power much stronger. It'd also brake about half a car length later. As you see, we missed it. Other ways to go for the diamond line. You go early for that apex, let it wash up a tiny bit, and then sort of a second apex where you drive out of the corner. Not any one of them feels stronger than the other two, in my opinion. And just so long as you're not really bombing your braking and cooking that right front in the process. I try to show what happens when you're a little too aggressive on throttle. You see, it does get loose. I feel like I had to force that a little bit. But that can happen if you're not careful. You don't really have to feather it, but just a smooth throttle application is all you really need. On the other flip side, let me show you what happens when you're on throttle too early. So you're kind of pushing away and you're going to have to get off throttle big time. You still have to wait for your nose to rotate. I don't really have a preferred line for myself. I just kind of often go with the car wherever it goes. Perhaps one thing with the late apex line, it does leave you pretty open to dive bombs and somebody really getting to your inside line. That early apex diamond line will really protect yourself from any inside pass attempts. Whereas I think just kind of your traditional arc in, arc out, wrap the curve all the way around is probably going to be best suited for saving your right front a little bit. And yep, don't touch that curb. Gonna try something a little bit here. Just gonna practice a lane up. I definitely recommend you guys do this, just so you're prepared in a too wide battle situation and you find yourself on the high side. Typically, the higher line is going to get the stronger drive off. So for most people to pass on the inside of you, they are probably going to have to go for quite a send and almost a little bit of a slide job, as ridiculous as that sounds. So of course, be aware for that. And also on the flip side, practice running the inside line, but you leave a lane open on the straights as if somebody's to your right side. It actually feels like really good drive off. It is a little bit loose, but it's got good drive off. Now, one thing that I just really want to urge everybody to do, Martinsville is typically a crapshoot on iRacing, or rather, nature of most short tracks on iRacing. But please, please respect the braking marker for the car ahead of you. They might be braking earlier, they might be braking later than you, but just respect their braking marker. If you're reacting to their braking, I'm very sure you're going to wind up rear-ending them, and they're going to be very angry with you. Just take note of where they're braking, see if you can take advantage of that. Are they braking half a car length earlier than you? Alright, then try to dive in a little bit, get to the inside line of them. Practice changing up your lines to work passes, you know, late apex, straighter but more powerful exit, quick dive in, but don't send it so hard you wash up and just door the crap out of them. Short track racing absolutely demands respect between everybody. And it is really, really fun when everybody knows that. I am gonna shut up for a few laps, try to throw together some consistent laps, and see what lap times we should be at. Alright, well, aside from that mistake, seems about 30 laps in, you should probably still be clocking 21.9s. Alright, and of course, this race is just 100 laps. Fuel's not a concern. We run about 35 laps in this run. Oh, we've got enough fuel for well over 100 laps, so don't worry about fuel. Do not pit under green unless you absolutely have to. We're actually going to come on in, put on right side tires, see how it feels, because that's definitely a usable, that's definitely a viable choice to pick you up some track position while also getting new tires on your car. Because typically with short tracks, Bristol aside a little bit, once you're past halfway, you typically you want to start prioritizing track position rather than tires. I've seen examples where somebody pits for tires, 8 cars behind him stays out. He's now got 8 cars to pass to regain the lead. And at best, he'll make it to like second, just because track position is important at Martinsville, almost regardless of car. No fuel. Change just the right side tires. Very sure we're speeding.
Pit box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
All right. 95, 94, so used up the right rear a little bit more.
All clear. Punch it.